Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. Today is November 14. The time is 10:10 in the morning. Today is a special broadcast. We are going to talk about a really sensitive, and I have to be really meticulous and careful because we live over here in Mexico. We can easily be targeted and easily be detected, but we are going to talk about a specific topic that is how much the cartels have been making under the Biden administration in terms not only the trafficking of humans but also in terms to the trafficking of fentanyl that has been the one that has contaminated the United States of America. There's a genocide occurring inside of the United States of America, and it's called fentanyl. It is not a war, it is not a missile, it is not a ballistic missile, it is not artillery, it is not a drone with an explosive. No, it is called fentanyl, and it is the one that is killing Americans by the hundreds of thousands per year. And we are going to be talking about that. But this is the most amazing thing about it that I want to say to everybody is how much the cartels made under the Biden administration. And this is the consequences of how much the Trump administration is going to have to fix. It is a disaster that it was made in 4 years. 4 years where the cartel has grown so much that they have gained territory, gained access to billions and billions of dollars of power, and also not only the power, but the entitlement of buying property close to the United States borders, alliances between the cartel in Mexico, South America, and also Europe, expanding to the world. And this marketing of trafficking humans all over across the globe. It is impressive what they have done. It is unbelievably impressive. But the most amazing thing about it is the quantity of money and how they have gained territory bluntly every day. And they're doing it right in your face. Like, it's yes, I'm here. This is my land. These farmers, they need to be removed, displaced, get them other territory, buy them another land over there. I want this land, and this is where I'm going to execute and operate. Before I move on, give it a like to the video, share the video, like the video, share the video, like the video. Also, buy me a coffee is pinned on the chat for people that want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Buy me coffee is right there. Let's go to the first article. This was released on the Oscar Blue Ramirez page and our website. So it says right here, the cartels of drug control the immigration passage from the south border in Mexico. This, I just reported on this. I was with Steve Bannon and I reported on this. I was with Grant Stinchfield and I reported on this. Why did I say this? Because the market of the trafficking of humans has opened so much that it's almost comparable, almost to how much they're making per year, the cartels, in terms of synthetic drugs, in terms now to migrants. They're making a huge buck out of it. And all of this is because of the open border policies of Joe Biden. It's unbelievable the tax return that these dirty politicians are getting because of this enormous smuggling of individuals through non-ports of entry. If you go to the article, it says right here, and I was there on this massive caravan. A lot of these people that they were coming on this caravan of 3,000 that they left on the 5th of November, they were telling me, Oscar, we're getting taxed and we're getting kidnapped, and also we're getting extortion on the side of Guatemala before we cross on a water raft on the Suchiate River. Remember that we crossed on this water raft back, for years now. We have been crossing on this water raft back and forth. Now, journalists in the side of Mexico, they're telling me that it's basically impossible to go to Guatemala as we were doing before and record from on the other side. It is basically impossible to record on the other side because of the enormous presence of cartel members or the organized crime that they're controlling the passage. It says on the crossing of the Suchiate River from Guatemala, the migrants that enter Mexico are facing challenges on their trip that is extremely dangerous, and they're putting them in these warehouses that is called gallera, like the chicken nest, and they stay there, kidnap until they pay $100 for the right of passage into the country of Mexico. A lot of them, they are also ultimately, being used as mules to cross undoubtedly into the United States of into Mexico. But look what it says, the article right here. This is crazy what it says right here. It says on the administration of Biden, the government of Joe Biden attributes themselves to lower down the crossings of migrants illegally, and undoubtedly it has grown through the CBP1 app. So this is what Joe Biden has been saying. I have decreased the level of people crossing illegally, and Kamala Harris was saying also, but it has increased under the CBP1 app that undeniably the cartel is going to take advantage of it because they're controlling all the ports of entry for people to cross now. But the article says, but in reality, it indicates that the enormous flow of migrants, it is not controlled by Mexican authorities. So these passages right here, these pathways, where and who is controlling them? And the ones that they're controlling these passages are the cartel. These are the collateral damage, which I have continuously said about the Biden administration, that has been continuously and enormously opened the floodgates for this to continue. And this is the average, this article that I'm going to post right now is from the Washington Post, I believe so. And it says this article was released, I believe so, it was in 2019, June 24, 2019. Listen to how much they were making at that time. If this was in 2019 and they were making $500 billion under the Biden administration, that they opened the floodgates to the world and they have expanded 100 times more bigger. How much do you think that they're making? How much money do you think they're making? Unbelievable. Meanwhile, the United States and the American taxpayers in debt with trillions of dollars that they're sending to a war in Ukraine, and they're sending to a war in Israel, and they're expanding, and you have an enormous inflation. You're giving out all these billions of dollars to migrants that they're doing this, they're doing that. Undoubtedly, the Mexican cartels are making between 500 billion to possibly 1,000 billion, $1 trillion per year. This is an article that it was released by the Washington Post. And I'm just going to read right here one part. It says $500 billion, 500 billion that makes the cartel business at the drug traffic just in Mexico alone coming across to the United States is bigger than Walmart, to put it in perspective. So this is larger than our largest companies. The facts are that the underground economy for drugs is huge. The United Nations estimated in 2011 report that worldwide proceeds from drug trafficking and other transnational organization crimes were equivalent to 1.5% of global GDP, or $870 billion in 2009. Who was president in 2009? We already know. This is a disaster. Now, I'm just giving you facts from back in the day. Imagine how much they are making and how much they were making under the Biden administration. How much fentanyl was crossing under the Biden administration. How much increase of fentanyl has been arriving to the United States of America. How much increase from the Trump administration back in 2016 to 2020. How much is increased from that into now? And the numbers are astonishing. If you're thinking that, they made 500 billion and you're saying, that's nothing. That's nothing, possibly they're making more now under the Biden administration. This will give you a glimpse. This article was released on October 29 of 2024. It was released by USA Facts. This is crazy. This right here, it is undoubtedly the most craziest statistics that I have seen in terms of to fentanyl. Got to give kudos to USA Facts for this. And some of the things. How much fentanyl it seized in the U.S. borders each month. And it will say about 2,200 pounds in September 2024. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid used medically as a pain reliever. And it says the latest data available, fentanyl was involved 68% of fatal accidental drug overdoses in the USA. This is in September 2024. It says pounds of fentanyl were confiscated by U.S. borders. The ones that they were confiscated, 2,200 pounds. We don't even know how much they have been crossing. It's by the thousands. 31% more fentanyl was confiscated at U.S. borders than August 2024. These are on Biden years. It's unbelievable. Now, I want you to see this stat. This is crazy. This is crazy. Look how it was in 2019 under Trump. Look how it has escalated under Joe Biden. This is the collateral damage, the next step to fix this. Because the cartel is not going to say, hey, how you doing, Mr. Trump? Hi. So it's closed now, huh? So we're not going to be able to operate like we were doing under Biden? Yeah. So I will come back later on, and I will talk to you later. I know that I got to talk to you later, so I'll come back in 4 years and see how you're doing and see if you're going to reelect yourself. They're not going to do that. Before I go, give it a like to the video, people. Come on. 43 likes, and we got almost 600 people. You got to be kidding me with this. Give it a like to the video, share the video, like the video. Buy me a coffee is right there. Pin on the chat. Says about 16% less fentanyl was seized in September 24 than 2023. These are Biden years. I don't care if there was less or more. You have increased by the triple. Look how it was in 2019 under Trump. Look how it was 2020 when they gave power back. Look how it escalated under Joe Biden. 2021. Look how it escalated in 2022. Look how it escalated in 2023 to 25,000 pounds. Look how it decreased to almost between 15 and 20 in 2024. This is the problem. You open the floodgates to this. And this is the damage that now you have to fix. It's a huge, and a lot of people are like, Trump is going to fix this. He's going to try to do it, but it's a mess. I'm just telling you, it's a complete mess. What they did in 4 years is just not care at all about the United States of America. Not care at all about the United States citizen. Not care at all about your border cities. Not care at all about the consequences of fentanyl contaminated Americans. And not only that, the genocide that is also occurring inside of the United States of America to basically take care of Americans of more than 100,000. That statistic, you're going to see it right here. This is crazy. How it has escalated from 2019 to this. 2019, less than 5,000. You have to be kidding me. And it escalated in 2023 to 25,000. It's like 4 or 5 times more. You have to be kidding me. And this is on the Biden years. This is why I have said these people need to be prosecuted and also be prosecuted under crimes against humanity. These are crimes against humanity. Look at this. Now, we're going to go to another one. Look how it was. This statistic, it says, around 16 times more fentanyl was seized at U.S. borders than heroin in 2024. Look how it was on 2020. Look how it was on 2019. Look how it jumped to 2022. For God's sake, 2022. Look at that. Look how it jumped to 2024. These are all Biden years. This is the Biden administration right here. Took over in 2020. And immediately they took over and what? Bam. Went up. 2021. Bam. Came down a little bit. 2022. Bam. Went all the way up. 2023. And it has stayed almost exactly the same 2024. And it's much bigger than heroin. Look at it was in 2020. And look how it's decreased on heroin, but it has increased on what? On fentanyl. It's unbelievable. These are all under Biden. All under Biden years. So how Cartel needs to be labeled as terrorists. Says, according to the United States Customs and Border Patrol, 2023 from the Department of Homeland Security, most fentanyl is primarily found and seized from vehicles driven by U.S. citizens. Official ports of entry between January and September 2024, 87% of all confiscated fentanyl was intercepted of all these official entry points. 87% of the people that they smuggle and cross fentanyl into the United States of America are U.S. citizens. I don't care if they're brown. I don't care if they're black. I don't care if they're white. They're U.S. citizens. So the cartel knows inevitably that if they use a U.S. citizens, they have a major possibility of crossing and adapting, and also the mission will be executed perfectly to cross and contaminate the United States of America. Unbelievable. Now let's go again to another statistic. These are crazy ones, man. Look at all these numbers. Fentanyl is primarily seized at official ports of entry, not illegal crossing routes. Percentage of fentanyl seized on 2024 data represents January, September 2024. So, look how effective it was under Trump to be seized at a port of entry. 2019, this is a Trump year. 2020, it went back down. 2021, exactly as 2019. 2022, not effective as it was Trump. 2023, less than that it was Trump. 2024, less than it was Trump. So when Trump was in office, there was more an effective seizure of fentanyl in every port of entry. Isn't it crazy how it has drastically changed under the Biden administration? It's horrible. Now let's go to another one. This will completely shock you. In 2024, fentanyl was primarily seized at official ports of entry along the southwest U.S. border. Among fentanyl seized by weight in pounds from January to September 2024, these are the numbers. Southwest border, where the border is open, where you have a lot of gaps that a lot of the people do not smuggle the drugs from non-ports of entry, but they smuggle them through vehicle ports of entry. This is how much? 16,201 pounds of fentanyl. 2024 alone. Yes, the year alone. This was a Biden year. Disaster. It's a complete disaster. Now, related questions. This article is just magnificent. It says, how many migrant encounters are there along the U.S.-Mexico border each month? This is on the September 2024. 54,000. The U.S. Border Patrol reported that encounters were 75.4 lower than September 2024 comparing to September 2023. Why? Because they accelerated and they created a deterrent. That is what? The CBP One app. Another way to people to go into the United States of America. A lot of them, they don't have asylum. They don't have refugee, but they're using the app for that. Now, how many drug overdose deaths happen every year in the United States of America? This is the genocide that is occurring to Americans. And this is why border security is ultimately number one. If you go right here, it says, in 2022, there were about 107,941 overdose deaths. That means that for every 100,000 people living in the United States of America, 32 have died of a drug overdose. Let's go to the report. And the report says right here, this is the highest of the drug overdose death rate that has reached since data from 1999 that became available. The most insecure administration in history. It is the Biden administration. The most, man, I don't even know how to describe it. The most brutal administration towards their own people. It is the Biden administration. Look at these stats. It says in 2022, 32 per 100,000 people died of overdoses. In 2022, 108,000 people died of overdose. In 2022, 92% of people overdose deaths were unintentional. What it means, unintentional, it means that they just basically overdose. Yes. Isn't it unbelievable what has happened in 4 years of this administration? And people were actually thinking that electing Kamala Harris was going to be the greatest solution for security among voters. Now, if you go to the bottom, this is the most amazing thing about this. The drug overdose death rate increased in 19 of the last 23 years, leading to an all-time high in 2022. The overdose death rate increased 57% since 2018 and increased 2.4 times in 2013. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention categories drug overdose, that's by intent, unintentional, suicide. About 92% of all overdose deaths were unintentional, followed by suicidal overdoses, and 5%. Look at this. Look how it's escalated under Biden. Look how it's escalated under Biden. Isn't it amazing? Fentanyl and other synthetic opioids, all the way up 2020 down here. After 2020, all the way up here. It says in 2022, West Virginia had the highest drug overdose death rate in the country. Can somebody tell me, West Virginia, if they are Republican or if it is a blue state? Can somebody tell me right here in the broadcast? Because whoever is running West Virginia, it is not doing a good job. Who is the governor or mayor or whatever you want to call it in West Virginia? Because it says in 2022, under Biden years, West Virginia had the highest drug overdose rate in the country. Somebody saying it's a red state now. No, I'm talking about in the Biden years. Whoever's in there, it is not doing a good job. I'm sorry. You guys are seeing it right now. These are actual stats. Look at this. This is why the United States of America has a big mental illness issue. Big mental illness issue. And this is why Donald Trump has talked about the country's mentally ill. He has said it so many times before. This transgenderism, this trans agenda, this gender ideology agenda is disgusting. Completely destroying the fundamentals of family and God. How many people die by suicide in the United States each year? You're talking about pressure, inflation, depression, PTSD. About 49,476 people died by suicide in 2022, Biden year. In other words, there were about 14.2 suicides for every 100,000 people in the United States of America. This is absolutely ludicrous. What happened under Biden, it is just absolutely ludicrous. It is so crazy. Opening the doors of Satan. What are the leading causes of death in the United States of America? This is crazy. In 2022, heart disease, what they are putting in your food. This is why it is so important to get Bobby Kennedy in the health department. Who do you have as in the health department? Didn't you guys have a trans something guy in charge of health? Look where it got you. It's a disaster. In 2022, heart disease, cancer, and accidents were leading to cause of death. Out of nearly 3.3 million deaths in the 2022, over 1.5 million, or 47%, were due to one of these causes. The 4th, 5th, and 6th month common causes were COVID-19, cardiovascular diseases, and chronic lower respiratory diseases. Look at this. These are Biden years. 2022, 21% of deaths were from heart disease. The United States of America is one of the most, it's the country that has a problem right now with obesity. A lot of problem with obesity. The food that the Americans are eating is so contaminated. It is so full with pesticides and all these things that they are completely against your health. And they were made to basically decrease the population. I'm not speculating. It is factual right now. We cannot lie about this anymore. This is not a conspiracy theory creating hysteria and fear-mongering. This is not about the white supremacy and all this stupidity language. It's reality. It's factual right here. You can see actually what they're doing to Americans. In 2022, 21% of deaths were from heart disease. In 2022, 19% of deaths were from cancer. In 2022, 7% of deaths were from accidents. Crazy. Look, 2022, heart disease, cancer. Accidental poisoning accounted for 45% of accidental deaths in 2022. Drug overdose. Look where it's at. It's ludicrous, man. It's just ludicrous. Now, this is another stat. Man, this article is just full of information. Sheesh. It's full with information, man. I will suggest that you guys go and read this article. It's on USA Facts. Go and read this article. It is just crazy. Whoever did this data, man, they studied like a mother, man, because this is just unbelievable factual information. The impact of the top causes of death varies across age groups. Percentage of deaths by cause and age group in 2022, Biden year. Look at the highest death rate. Heart disease is on pink. 45 to 64 and 65 plus. Now, the highest one, it is going to be motor vehicle accidents and accidental poisonings. It is the one that is on top. Look how sad this is of accidental poisonings in 2022. Accidental poisoning, it is 25% between 18 and 44 years of age. Your youth, it is being contaminated by this drug that I just told you, that is basically an infestation of a genocide that is basically attacking the country of the United States of America, with more than 100,000 people dying per year. This is not a lie. It is a stat right here. Between the ages of 18 and 44, 25% are accidental poisonings, that is overdose. I'm not saying anything. This is right there. Then you go heart disease right here, 45 to 64 and 65 and plus. That's just health. These are crazy stats. These are crazy, man. And this is all provided by this progressive mercenary liberal agenda, who has opened the floodgates to these people to make billions of dollars, to contaminate not only Mexico, South America, Central America, and continue to flow. Under the Biden-Harris administration, open border gaps, massively trafficking, massively occurring, man. Cartels are making $13 billion a year of smuggling migrants across the border, report says. Jeez. $13 billion, people. It is not even about the millions anymore. It is about the billions. But you know what? You got people in Congress, Alexandria Ocasio, advocating for people that they're coming across through non-ports of entry. It is okay. And they're legal asylees and refugees. Yes, you're saying it in your country, but the consequence and the collateral damage that you're causing because these people are coming through a non-port of entry, it is irreparable. You're making the enemy rich. You're making the cartel rich. Meanwhile, you're sitting down in your congressional seat with your really expensive suit, drinking your nice cup of coffee of Starbucks with 2 other Splendas on it, and please don't put the cream at the top. And you got your Dorothy right there working as a secretary and telling her, my God, put the AC on. You go on these congressional hearings and you let everybody know that whoever is coming through a non-port of entry, it's okay because they're legal asylees and refugees under an international law, an international treaty that is the Global Compact on Migration. Meanwhile, you're advocating your illicit and illegal activity under humanitarian law, and you're taking advantage of people and migrants and human beings. You're making the enemy richer. You're making the cartel more richer. You're making the organized crime richer, and they're expanding and expanding and expanding. That's the enemy. That's the one that we need to take power away from, not get him richer. And we need to educate our people, Latino, Hispanic people, to understand that this is incorrect, that this is illicit and illegal activity, because you guys, the Democrats, and the progressive mercenary liberals have normalized this conduct. And Antonio Gutierrez from the United Nations, George Soros, Alex Soros, they have demonstrated to the world that this is a normal conduct, that people should risk their lives, die in a jungle, die in the back of a tractor trailer, die in a desert. That's okay. They're risking their lives. We already know that. But you have normalized this conduct for people to make them understand that those are the pathways to get to a better place. Meanwhile, these sons of a gun are getting richer and richer and richer. And they're making billions of dollars. They're not making millions. They're making billions. Isn't it crazy? Where did it all left? I went from how they're smuggling to how much they're making per year in 2019 and how much they're escalating now to statistics and stats of how much Americans are dying to this enormous fentanyl crossings and how much this administration has polluted the whole border and has contaminated the whole country, and it needs a complete repair. You know, when you go to the mechanic and you have a car that has been beat up so bad and it has more than 600,000 miles on it. Transmission is, you know, it hops from second to third and it has a little click. The motor is just, and when you accelerate, you know, beyond 55, you know, white smoke coming out. You take about 5 to 10 minutes to warm the car up when you start in the morning. You got to put water every day in it because the radiator is just busted. You got to do multiple oil changes before the 6 months because the motor is just done. You don't got no tires. That thing, when it's raining, you got to drive slow because it will slip and you will crash. You know, if you got a car like that is all beat up. I remember when I was 18 and 19, I had a car like that. When you got a car like that, you need to take it to the car repair or get a new one. The United States of America right now, it is almost like that car. They beat that car up, man, like you don't even imagine. And they took advantage of that car. That car was brand new. It was 2020 when it was released. And in 2024, they pulled those miles in that car like you don't even imagine. 1 million miles without making them have an oil change, a tire change, a transmission oil change, nothing. Now you have the consequences of this. These are the consequences. $13 billion per year. This article was released on the 26th of July on the Biden year, on 2022. And it says right here, the information comes from a report of the New York Times national immigration correspondent, Miriam Jordan, who suggests that $13 billion in revenue doesn't even include drug money. Migrant smuggling on the U.S. border has evolved over the 10 plus years from a scattered network of freelance coyotes into a multi-billion-dollar international business controlled by organized crime, including some of Mexico's most violent cartels. $13 billion. $13. Under the Biden administration, it is a reality. The cartel and the organized crime has become way richer. It has become extremely rich. And because of that, you have a cartel war. You just detain El Chapo Guzman, then you detain his son. Then they're saying that his son, you know, gave up the location of in an exchange of an accordant and you know, in exchange of an agreement with the DEA to know where El Mayo Zambada is, that the Mayo Zambada is the kingpin of drug cartels. And he's the kingpin of all. And then you had a war, a cartel war in the middle of our country. Nothing that is new for us. Nothing that is new for us. But we're seeing another one. This was back in, I think it was September. And it says, cartel war in Sinaloa spreads fear of other states in Mexico. You see fewer people on the streets and businesses closed yearly. It was constant shootings every day. This article was released by Almudena Barragan on September 24. The war between factions of the Sinaloa cartel has spread to the northern border states in Mexico, where Los Chapitos, that is an organization of El Chapo Guzman, led by his sons Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, and those loyal to El Mayo Flaco, the son of arrested Capo Ismael El Mayo Zambada, previously shared the business of smuggling synthetic drugs into the United States. The struggle between the groups had stirred up the country's drug trafficking hornet's nest and spread panic among the population who fear new confrontations in the states of Sonora, Baja California, where we are located, Chihuahua, and Durango. You see fewer people on the streets and businesses closed early, says Eduardo Lopez, a freelance journalist of Ciudad Obregón in South Sonora. The confrontation between Los Chapitos and the faction that remains loyal to El Mayo has intensified since Zambada accused Joaquin Guzman Lopez of being behind his capture by U.S. authorities last July. Sinaloa has since been mired in a cartel war in which more than 60 people have already been killed, according to official data. The United States has a new administration coming in. Give it a like to the video, share the video, like the video, share the video, like the video, share the video. I'm thinking that I'm being censored on this on live feed because I mentioned Cartel and I mentioned Biden. So when I put a title like that, they will censor me and they will censor the comments. They will censor this. They will censor that. It's sad, because we're trying to speak what is really happening and we're being censored. So give it a like to the video, share the video. Buy me a coffee. It's right there. If people want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, we're going to be traveling soon, people. Soon. So we need help. This is actually the collateral damage of the Biden administration. There's nothing else to say it about. There's nothing else to compare it. This is the collateral damage. It's a collateral damage of a disaster of an administration, a disaster of a government, a disaster of a weak leader, a disaster of a woman that she was supposedly the border czar, and she did a horrific job on controlling and managing the border. It's a disaster. This is the collateral damage. Behind me, you will see a frame that is the Darian Gap. You see all of the trash on the bottom, and I have showed this, the multiple pounds and pounds of trash that they're inside of the Darian Gap. It is one of the most important treasures of a jungle in the whole continent. It is beautiful from inside, but some parts are completely contaminated of more than 60 tons of trash. They're in there because of the mass migration of more than millions of people crossing through this particular place. The collateral damage of open border policies have caused irreparable damage to other countries. Biden and his administration should be held accountable for crimes against humanity and should be held accountable ultimately for what they have done. But also the corruption of dirty politicians in Central and South America, also they need to be held accountable because they were part of it and they were receiving money to continue with this. Thank you so much for joining in. Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. It is 10:53 in the evening. It is nice to say hello to you guys. Really nice to say hello to you guys today. Let's go on X to see how many people we got on that platform, man. It's unbelievable what we are seeing right now. In terms of statistics, this is crazy, man. We got 461 people on X. 461 people, to be on X. We got right here 461 people. So hello to people on X. Infiltrated trolls are talking over there, but nobody puts attention to them. And also we got like around censored as a mother in Facebook. A platform, man, it's not even worth it to go live in Facebook anymore. But it's just a disaster to go live on Facebook. It's just a complete disaster. And then on YouTube, it's not letting me see how many people we got on live. Showing 264 on YouTube. God bless you. Fisherman Lopez 805. Venezuela, it is funding the Tren de Aragua through the cartel to smuggle people over. Yes, they are. And not only that, the Tren de Aragua organization from Venezuela, their sicarios and their active, members, they are ultimately infiltrated with the cartels in Mexico and working with the cartels in Mexico. Now you see them actively working in Colorado, Nueva York, and Chicago, and some other places. They're going to have to move around because they're going to get massively deported. Now that they're in there, they know that they're going to get massively deported. Immediately deported or detained or stopped or be incarcerated. One of the two, one of the three, one of the four. I don't even know. So it's just for people to understand the statistic that I just showed you about more than 100,000, 106,000 Americans dying of fentanyl. That is crazy per year. That is such a crazy thing, man. Per year, more than 106,000 people per year dying of fentanyl. That is absolutely ludicrous. I don't even have an explanation for that. That's just nuts. It's crazy. Really, it is crazy. That's absolutely it's I don't even have, my God, man, I don't even have a words to say it. I don't even have words to say it. Everyone, let me see comments, questions, comments, questions, comments, and questions. Comments and questions. Comments and questions. Comments and questions. Before I go, we got 46 minutes going in. Being censored. This today, I'm being censored. I'm sorry, people, if I am being. I'm seeing like 1,000 people on my live feed, and I see just comments going in real slow. So it's censorship. Thank you so much again, Miss Eva. Thank you so much for being and moderating today. Says praying for the people who are being used by global elites for our respective countries, Mexico and the U.S., our leaders and U.S. Thank you so much, Miss Eva. God bless you. Comment if we were invaded by China and 100. Comment if we were invaded by China and 106,000 people died in an invasion, we will call it in war. Well, I don't know how to call it because the product of fentanyl comes from China. So I don't even know how to call it. Take that into the bank. I don't even know how to give you that information. If the product is coming from China and it has an intention to contaminate and to be muled by cartels in Mexico and to be muled into the United States of America and transported in the United States of America to contaminate and to make a problem of an addiction, then you have an addiction problem. Then you have a mental illness problem. Then when you have a mental illness problem, you have to increasingly, detect the problem and eradicate the problem. But it has become so much of a business and so much of a black market that it's so difficult. It has a purpose. It's not only just to create a new synthetic drug. It has a purpose it's not only to depopulate, but also to have control of a certain population with an addiction. It really has it has a deep purpose. Thank you so much, Dr. Bill Guyette. Thank you, Doctor. Oscar, discuss Trump effect on migration. Well, it has until now. I was part of it. I was documenting and walking on the 12th caravan that I'd done on the south border, and immediately when the caravan, sorry about my cat, the caravan left on the 5th of November on election day, and particularly the migrants were walking. As they were walking, they were excited in the morning that Kamala Harris was favorite supposedly for them to win. And they were thinking, yes, Kamala Harris is the one that is going to win. We're going to landslide Democrats. By 1 o'clock in the morning, Ben Berquam called me and he sent me a message. And it was this. Let me just put that message so you guys can see it. It was, where are you, Ben? Where are you, brother? What the hell? Grant Stinchfield, Ben, brother, right here. Okay. It was this. It was at 11:12. No, it was at 4:50 a.m. Dude, we won. Praise the Lord. And I put, I love you, brother in Christ. All of our enormous sacrifice has been paid off. That's what I did. So after that, I woke up. The next morning. I continued to walk on the caravan, and the perception and the perspective of the migrants was completely drastically changed. It was drastic. I'm not even saying that it was something that it's 180 degrees. It changed. It changed to what point? It changed to a place where they were saying, how are we going to do it now? CBP1 is going to get eliminated, where our appointments is not going to do until 2025. How are we going to do it? Now we're going to have to cross illegally. There's no other way. And there were other migrants that were saying, I don't care who's in office. I'm going over there. Nobody's going to take away my American dream. This is the problem. You have created a conduct that is okay to cross illegally, and you're going because you're going. and you can overpass the law. You can overrule the law. This is the craziest thing about it. This is the craziest thing about it. The disconduct is the one that is ruining our people's acknowledgement and our people's knowledge. You cannot have this conduct. You cannot say, the American dream, I want it now. And it is because I want it, I want to cross, and you're going to respect that. Because no, man, there's a law. You need to understand that. And because of this continuous illicit and normalization of illegal activity, it has created a sense of a sense of, sense of things that they are normal like this. The things like these are normal. Questions? How is the new puppy working out? Probably. Karen Bond, how you doing, Miss Karen? Question: how's the new puppy working out? Probably not a puppy anymore. By the way, the sound of the kitty meowing is cute to me. Well, the guy is just unstoppable, massive force of eating. I just fed him right now in the morning, and he's hungry again. You got to be kidding me! I told him the other day, "Hey, Wilson, you're getting fat." I got a cat, and his cheeks, it looks like this. Like, hey, come on, man, we can't. You have to go on a diet. Like, I cannot be feeding you every time that you meowing. It's like that. He's meowing and he's on the side of the plate. I'm like, I'm not going to feed you again, man. You need to understand that food is food, man. You got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, leave it alone. I'm not going to be here giving you snacks and all this kind of stuff. Like, man, grow up hair. And he's a cat. So he needs to understand that he needs to grow up hair. No, you need patience. No, that word, it's no, for us that we cover these kind of circumstances, patience is not a thing that it's currently on my dictionary. So Oscar needs a job in Newsmax or CBN like Chuck Holden. God bless him. God bless my mentor, my friend. One of the most incredible mans that I ever met in my lifetime. Let me see if I can put a picture right here on the screen for you guys. Right here. Let me see if I can put a picture on the screen for him of this guy, man. Look at this guy. That guy. It's a handsome guy. Look at that. Let me pause this right here. Look at that. Look at that, man. Look at that. Handsome guy right there, man. Hi, I'm Chuck Holden. God bless Chuck, man. Questions, people. Questions. Questions about the cat. Wow. Does the cat eat outside too, or just at home? No, he's a home cat. He doesn't get out. There's a couple of cat females that have been meowing to him for quite some time, and the guy has been peeing all over the place. I'm like, come on, Wilson, you can't be doing that. And he has the couch all scratched up now because he's nervous of the female cat coming to the window, and it's just a meow concert around 12 o'clock at night. It's a meow concert, so I gotta come down and tell him, like, hey, man, like, I know that you're on that phase that you want to dominate, but she's outside, you're inside. It's not happening. I'm not letting you reproduce, man. It's not happening. And we don't even know this cat. I don't even know her. I haven't met their parents. So first comment, knock on the door, man. Like, hey, I'm the parent. But this, it's not happening, man. So I got to come down, pet him for a little while, and get him upstairs and like put him in bed and like, come on, man, let me purr you for a little bit. Let me purr. Sometimes he's annoying. But I love when he gets on my chest and he takes all the energy out. It's an unbelievable cat. I never had a cat in my life. This cat it was my son's idea to get a cat. It was not even mine idea. It was my son was like, hey, man, I want to get a cat. I'm like, oh my God. Jesus. So there's a comment right here about the cat. Fix that cat. He will mess your place up. It's a cat. What do you want me to do? It's a cat. Like if it was a dog, you would have said like fix that dog. It's a dog, man. What do we cannot even fix ourselves, and I'm trying to fix a cat. Like what the hell? It's like Biden can't even fix himself walking on the sand and in the beach, man. They're like, I mean, you're trying to fix a cat. Like get out of here, man. It's difficult. Cats are cats, man. Let them be. Questions? Go ahead. Lisa. Cats are healing, very independent, but yet they know when you need them. Yeah. Uh, yeah, they know. Belinda, Miss Belinda. Oh my God. Cats spray and and the smell is bad. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's bad. I'm not even gonna lie. That's yeah. That cat needs to be neutered so it doesn't spray. His smell everywhere. And be so interested in females. I'm gonna let him be a man. I'm not gonna take away that from him. I'm gonna let him be a man when time comes, and just he will be a man. And then after he does that, I will neuter him. But I'm not gonna take away that right from him. It's just so bad, man. How am I gonna take a? Come on, like he's never gonna know what that is. Like you got to be kidding me. Like let him do his thing, man. Like I'm not gonna take away that away from him. But right now, no. Like I don't want that. And you have to be prepared, man. If you're gonna, it's just somebody asked me this question about my dogs. It's like, why don't you got your dogs neutered and all this kind of stuff? But yeah, it's somebody saying like, yeah, but it will quit spraying. I understand, but I'm not gonna take away that right of him being a man, being a male cat. Somebody told me like, hey, get your dog neutered so it will not get another dog pregnant or whatever you want to call it. So I said, no, my dog, Black Lives Matter. I said, no, I want him to reproduce. And when he jumps into a place that he wants to reproduce, then later on, I'm get him neutered. Like that's mine. But for me to do that, I got to be prepared. I'm not going to let him have puppies with another dog and not be responsible of the puppies. So I have to be prepared. What am I going to do with the puppies that I'm going to get? And if I'm going to keep them or give them away on adoption, and to who, it's like a whole thing now. I'm not going to just get puppies and then like do this and do that. Like, no, man, we're jumping on another topic that is just really, it's unbelievable. Will you happen to know if they are still sending air marshals to the border? That will be big news. That will be big news. That's when they let it go, I will be the first one to jump on it, man. Liberal cats be getting vasectomies in California. Question: how's your new president working out? Is she doing a good job in your opinion? Violence has not decreased; is increasing, and it is exactly the same. So let that sink into all of us. I hope that this year is accommodated to what her strategy, whatever she's doing. I don't know. I haven't even put attention to it. Really, I haven't. It's just she's a socialist. What do you want me to? I don't get along with socialists. I really don't. I don't get along with socialists or communists. Their mentality is way off. Like it's just the world functions in a different materialistically way. Communism kills people. It's a capitalism also does. And like, all right, yes, okay. So it's never ending argument, man. It's so exhausting. So that's why I don't get into that topic. Free cat vasectomies in California now. I don't even know, man. If I had the the link, I would put it up, brother. Like I'll like a call 619 area code California. Trump says she's working with him. Trump said she is working with him. I don't even know. I need to hear her side of the story because we hear Trump's side of the story, but I need to hear her side of the story. It's a two-side story. So we need to understand because, sometimes, Trump will say, yes, I'm taking this in charge, and then you will see the statements of the president that he said that I was making this in charge, and the president will come out and say something radical like, no, it's not happening, we're going to do this and that. So it's kind of like I got, from a journalistic perspective, I have to see both parts. I cannot see one part and say, like, that's how it's going to be. No, I have to understand the other part. So I haven't heard something like that. Question: is abortion a hot topic in Mexico like America? Yes, absolutely. Yes, it is. Mexico is more conservative towards that. Um, there was a thing of me going to abortion clinics and trying to just protest and be over there and say, like, hey, think about what you're about to do. But it's so radically aggressive. It's the lack of protection over here for somebody to do that. It's completely 100% different than in the United States of America, that you will go with a banner and you will say, like, save the lives or something like that. They will actually, get somebody and aggressively attack you. Like, it's different. It's just my own perspective. But yes, it's a big topic. It's a big topic. Oscar, you have done well to keep us informed. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you so much. God bless your dear heart. Question: why can't government go and get rid of the cartel? Which government? LGBT language. Oh my God. Hopefully. Vanessa Sullivan, the word is out with banning of LGBTQ language ban in schools. My God. Hopefully. Hopefully it will. This indoctrination of our children, it is not working out at all. Any government. Well, you have to, you're making me really uncomfortable with saying these kind of things. All right, let me just say it like this, and I will expect an answer from you. So when you have a product, Teresa, mutant, I said it correctly, mutant. Let me just put it like this, hypothetical example, right? So let's say that you have a laptop right here, and it is a laptop that it is new fashion laptop. It is highly quality laptop, and it is going to take over the world, and it is better than the iMac. It's better than all this kind of stuff, right? And you presented this iMac and this laptop to a first class country, and the first class country said, like, my God, this laptop, it is just incredibly, phenomenally, just unbelievable. I'll buy it. And then they go on the black market and they sell the laptop 3 times higher the price. It's like, hey man, I need more laptops. And it's like, okay, you're sending more laptops. And it's like, hey man, I need millions of laptops now. It's just selling like hotcakes. And it's like people are addicted to it. Is this magnificent technology? And you're over here saying, like, so why are they not stopping it in Mexico by why they are still buying it in the US and letting it still be sold? Am I kind of being clear, Teresa? I don't want to get in trouble. I before I used to go off and say a lot of things, but it's just I don't know if I was clear enough. I think I was more than clear enough. So saying that, fixing to be over. Hopefully, hopefully. There's a video before I leave. There's a video that they have been spreading over there about UFOs, right? And it's a thing that I wanted to Man, a lot of people started saying, Oscar, why don't you cover that UFOs or paranormal activity? And I was like, man, that would be crazy to cover that. It'd be crazy to do like journalistic work about it, exorcism and all this kind of stuff. But it'd be crazy to do that. That's one of the things that I wanted to like. Oh my God, study like an exorcism, go with the priest and like document the whole thing and like, oh my God, it will be so, it's like, in the name of Jesus I cast you and get out demon and all this kind of stuff. So there's a video right now going out there. When Trump became president, they asked him this question about UFOs, and it's like, UFOs, have you know about that or something like that? And he says, yeah, I know about it. Can you talk about it? And immediately he said no. Like, it's highly classified. I'm sorry, highly classified. Like, it's just he said no. And then there's other presidents that they asked them also about UFOs, and all of them said, I can't talk about it. I can't say anything about it. I can't say anything about it. I can't talk about it. I can't say anything about it. Like, it's the only one that set something remotely into make people understand that there's, that kind of like it slipped out of his mouth, was Clinton, that we are not going to believe a word that he says. I did not sleep with that woman, but he said, the only thing that I can say is there's life out there. So with that, you can actually kind of remotely think. But there's a lot of things that they're not going to talk about. It would be great to see the Epstein list, the Puff Daddy list. It will be great to see, the Kennedy, assassination documents. To just let the world, know. How about this? LBGT example, Oscar. You wouldn't be teaching kids how mix alcoholic drinks for future pleasure. So why teach ways of sex? Who's agreeing that I don't agree with the LGBTQ? I don't understand, Christine. I don't understand what you just meant. I just don't understand. Thank you so much for joining in. It's almost 800 people. There's a lot of conspiracies. When you talk about UFOs, a lot of people get into it, man. A lot of people get into it. There's a comment right here says there's no UFO. Sorry, only God is out there. There's that perspective. I'm a Christian myself, so I'm soon to be Christian. So, but it's awesome to just study it, right? And there's other comments. It said ancient aliens, first Earth age. So there's kind of like that debacle of what the hell is going on with this. There you got fallen angels right here. And you go, they are angels and demons. God never said we were the only ones. Beings coming down from space and fire smoke sounds like aliens to me. Questions like this: what is God? Who is God? The one that is letting you talk right now. The one that is letting you speak. The one that is letting you type. The one that is letting you breathe. The one that is letting you feel. The one that wakes you up in the morning. The one that tells you go to sleep. The one that made you for you to type and have the ability to be alive. That's God. Who built the pyramids? We got a lot of pyramids. I got in Mexico a lot of pyramids. It's crazy. And I have been to the pyramids in Mexico. They're incredibly built perfectly with such a, oh my God, they're perfectly made. It's in sounds, like you will clap on the bottom, you can hear it on the top, and you will clap and it will sound like a bird. And it's just crazy the way that it's just the pyramids of Mexico. They're unbelievably crazy. They're crazy. Uh, I would like to know the story of the photograph behind you, Oscar, if he hasn't already talked about it. Oh, okay. So let me go by this from the left side. Oh, right here. Left side. That's Agent Berraco. This agent is a total badass. He was the one on our second journey to the Darian. Let me, first and foremost, let me explain. That it is the Darian Gap, one of the most dangerous places in the world for the most dangerous place in the world for migrants. It is in the middle of the jungle between Panama and Colombia. That is a mountain that is extremely dangerous. That is called Mountain of the Flag Mountain. We have gone up all the dangerous mountains of more on top of 2,200 feet in the air with a horrible and mortal decline on the side. It took us 4 hours to get all the way to the top. Brutal, 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 all the way to get to the top, in 4 days to get out of the jungle. We did it 4 times already with the heroic agents of Senafront, the authorities of Panama. These uniformed men that you see right there are border agents from Panama. On our second journey, middle parts of the jungle, we had a gunfight between these brave agents and the Cartel of Colombia, which this agent, brave agent right here, shot and killed one of the cartel members who was about to rape a migrant, and he was raping migrants. He was robbing, stealing migrants, but he was about to rape another one. And he, as soon as the agents came over, these bandits started shooting at the agents, and the one that got neutralized, he shot at a migrant accidentally in this, not accidentally, on purpose, in the stomach, and he was shooting at him. So he took him out. We actually were part of that. We recorded that. That's Agent Berraco. I'm going to say it with their nicknames. That is me right here pointing the finger to him because I actually think that he's an actual badass, really. It's an animal. This one is Agent Volado. Agent Volado, he's a walker, man. He's a guy, strong guy. It's my brother in Christ, Ben Berquam. It's Agent Montenegro. He's a canine trained agent. He loves dogs. He's unbelievable, kind, young guy. He's I will say their age at the final when I finish. This is my friend, one of my best friends and a hero. His name is Agent Guerra. He is my age. He's 43 years old, and he's the lieutenant and the commander of the platoon, this sixth group. This is Agent Jason. He's the second in charge of that group. He is quite an interesting individual, aggressive, but he's a phenomenal agent. And this is an agent that I don't remember his name because he just did one route with us. The agent that is taking the picture is called, we call him Cien de Cien, that he is, nickname is 100%. He's always there telling you we got to give it 100%. That picture, I took that they took that picture of us. That was the greatest accomplishment of my journalistic career in terms to physical demand and in terms to documenting demand and everything. That's the most incredible accomplishment that I have ever done in my life. Crossing that thing 4 times has been difficult, hard, but crossing it with these people and documenting these agents, documenting what they have done, the institution themselves, everything that they have done, it is just undeniably one of the most incredible stories of our lifetime. So that's in the middle of the limitations between Panama and Colombia. If you go behind going down, you will continue on the Panamanian jungle. But if you go right to this side, you will go to Colombia. And that is absolutely a no-go zone for us because we will get actually killed by the Colombian cartel, that they don't like us at all. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. It has been an hour and 15 minutes of chat. Buy me a coffee. It is right there pinned in the chat for people that want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Possibly next week, we are going to be traveling soon, and we'll greatly appreciate your donations and contributions as well for us to continue and buy equipment that we need to buy a new camera and some other stuff that we need to buy. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission.